Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, unable to move, feeling a crushing pressure on your chest and sensing an evil presence in the room? Imagine, if you will, being caught in the twilight zone between sleep and consciousness. Your mind is awake, alert, and aware, but your body is locked in a state of paralysis, unresponsive to your desperate attempts to move. It's as if an invisible force holds you down, while your heart pounds against your chest like a trapped bird yearning for freedom. The room around you seems to pulsate with a malevolent energy, a palpable sense of dread that fills the air. It's a chilling, spine-tingling experience that sends shivers down your spine, making every hair on your body stand on end. It's a reality that many of us have endured, a nightmare that unfolds in the dead of night. This terrifying event is known as sleep paralysis, a condition that affects millions of people worldwide. Sleep paralysis is a phenomenon where a person, either falling asleep or waking up, temporarily experiences an inability to move, speak, or react. So what exactly happens during sleep paralysis? Imagine being on the edge of sleep, or just coming out of it, and finding yourself unable to move a muscle. You're conscious, aware of your surroundings, but you're locked inside your own body, immobile. This state can last from a few seconds to a couple of minutes, and is often accompanied by hallucinations and a sense of dread. Symptoms of sleep paralysis are fairly universal, although the severity and frequency can vary. Individuals often report feeling pressure on their chest, difficulty breathing, and a sense of an ominous presence in the room. Hallucinations can also be common, with people reporting seeing, hearing, or feeling things that aren't actually there. These hallucinations can be incredibly vivid and scary, adding to the terrifying nature of the experience. While it might seem like a rare occurrence, sleep paralysis is surprisingly common. Studies have shown that around 7.6% of the general population has experienced sleep paralysis at least once. However, certain groups are more prone to it than others. For instance, it's more common in students and psychiatric patients, with prevalence rates reaching up to 28% and 31.9% respectively. Sleep paralysis can affect anyone, regardless of age, but it's particularly prevalent among teenagers and young adults. It's also more likely to occur in individuals who have a history of mental health issues, such as anxiety or depression, or those who have irregular sleep patterns. Sleep paralysis isn't a medical emergency, despite how terrifying it can be. It's a strange and eerie phenomenon that has been experienced by people all over the world, across all cultures and all periods of history. It's a testament to the complexities of the human brain and the mysteries that we're still unraveling about our sleep patterns. Now that you know what sleep paralysis is, let's delve into the scientific reasons behind it. Believe it or not, sleep paralysis is not caused by evil spirits or alien abductions, but by a disruption in our sleep cycle. To understand this, let's dive a bit deeper into the science behind sleep. Sleep is not just a single state of unconsciousness. It is composed of several stages that cycle throughout the night, including light sleep, deep sleep, and rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. Each of these stages has different physiological characteristics and serves unique functions in maintaining our health and well-being. Light sleep is the transition stage between wakefulness and sleep, where our heartbeat, breathing, and eye movements slow down. This is followed by deep sleep, where our body goes into repair mode, restoring muscle, tissues, and boosting immune functions. After this restorative deep sleep, we enter what is perhaps the most intriguing stage, REM sleep. This is where most dreaming occurs. Our brain becomes highly active, almost as if we're awake. However, to prevent us from acting out our dreams and potentially harming ourselves, our brain sends a signal to temporarily paralyze our voluntary muscles. This phenomenon is known as rematonia. In a normal sleep cycle, we transition smoothly between these stages, but sometimes this process gets disrupted. Imagine waking up during REM sleep. Your brain is active, you're in the middle of a dream, but your body is still under the effects of rematonia. This is when sleep paralysis occurs. You're awake, but you can't move or speak. This is because your brain and body are not synchronized. Your mind has woken up, but your body is still in REM sleep. The paralysis from rematonia continues into wakefulness, creating the terrifying experience of sleep paralysis. It's also worth noting that during sleep paralysis, the dream state of REM sleep can continue, even though you're awake. This can result in hallucinations, adding another layer of fear to the already horrifying experience. There's a lot going on in our brains during sleep paralysis. The amygdala, the part of our brain responsible for processing fear, is in overdrive. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, which helps us rationalize and make sense of things, is still in sleep mode. This combination can make sleep paralysis an extremely distressing experience. But remember, while sleep paralysis can be scary, it's not harmful. It's a sign that the transitions between the stages of your sleep cycle are not as smooth as they should be. Stress, irregular sleep patterns, or certain medications can trigger this disruption, so sleep paralysis, as terrifying as it might be, is nothing more than a hiccup in your sleep cycle. While sleep paralysis is harmless in itself, the fear and anxiety it can cause are very real. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night unable to move or speak, while experiencing vivid and often terrifying hallucinations. This is the reality for many experiencing sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis can leave a profound psychological impact. The immediate effects are typically fear and anxiety. The feeling of being trapped in your own body, coupled with often terrifying hallucinations, can instill a deep sense of dread. This fear can be so intense that it leads to anxiety about sleeping or even insomnia. But the effects of sleep paralysis aren't confined to the night. The fear and anxiety can bleed into daytime hours, causing distress and a preoccupation with the night's potential terrors. This can lead to heightened stress levels, impacting overall mental health and well-being. Repeated episodes of sleep paralysis can exacerbate these effects. Over time, the dread of experiencing another episode can become a constant backdrop to life, leading to chronic anxiety and even depression. This can affect a person's quality of life, from their relationships and work performance to their overall happiness and well-being. Some people also experience a sense of shame or stigma around their sleep paralysis, particularly if they experience disturbing hallucinations. This can prevent them from seeking help, perpetuating a cycle of fear and anxiety. However, it's crucial to remember that sleep paralysis, while unsettling, is a common and largely harmless phenomenon. It's a glitch in the brain's sleep-wake cycle, not a sign of a more serious mental or physical health problem. Understanding sleep paralysis can go a long way in mitigating its psychological effects. Knowledge can replace fear with curiosity, and understanding that the terrifying experiences are just hallucinations can help reduce anxiety. So, if you're experiencing sleep paralysis, remember you're not alone. Reach out, seek support, and remember, knowledge is power. With understanding, you can transform a terrifying experience into a manageable one. Despite the fear it instills, sleep paralysis is a common and largely harmless phenomenon. So, we've learned that sleep paralysis is a common, albeit frightening sleep disorder caused by a disruption in our sleep cycle. Sleep paralysis is a phenomenon that occurs when the boundary between dream-filled rapid eye movement sleep and being awake becomes blurred. This blurred line is where the terror of sleep paralysis lurks, trapping us in a state where we are awake yet unable to move, often coupled with hallucinations that can be terrifyingly vivid. We examine the science behind this mystical event, realizing that it's no more than a hiccup in our sleep cycle. During the rapid eye movement stage of sleep, our brain is highly active and dreams occur, but our body becomes immobile to prevent us from acting out these dreams. Sometimes this mechanism doesn't switch off as we wake up, leading to sleep paralysis. It's not a ghost pinning you down, it's just your brain and body out of sync. It's a common occurrence, with about 3 out of every 10 people likely to experience it at some point. Certain factors like stress, sleep deprivation, and irregular sleep schedule can increase the odds of experiencing sleep paralysis. The effects of this sleep disorder can be quite distressing. The inability to move or speak, the feeling of being trapped, combined with the potential for frightening hallucinations, can leave a person feeling anxious and afraid. However, it's important to remember that these experiences, while terrifying, are not harmful. Sleep paralysis is not a medical emergency. Though it can be a symptom of narcolepsy, in many cases it's a standalone sleep disorder. It's generally harmless and lasts for a few seconds to a couple of minutes. There are ways to manage and possibly reduce the occurrence of sleep paralysis, like maintaining a regular sleep schedule, ensuring a healthy sleep environment, managing stress, and avoiding heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol before bedtime. Remember, the next time you find yourself unable to move in the middle of the night, don't panic. It's just your brain taking a little longer to wake up.